Right, let's try this. I was gonna use mouse and keyboard or just keyboard, but apparently the Xbox controller is meant to be better for us. I don't. We'll give it a try. Yeah, there's so much to learn. Sim controls, learn the basics of interactions and cameras. Seven-2 Skyhawk. You have to learn the basics before getting to know about aircraft controls, so you will go over the basic camera and tool. Okay. Five minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to load up. Pen and paper to take a few notes. I mean, I'm problems with this game on loading, it just can't say loads. And there we go. Time to load in a bit.
Welcome to Sedona. I'm Captain Jess Molina, and I'll be your instructor. For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 172. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode.
Cursor mode, RB.
The cursor is handy for interacting with menus and cockpit controls or instruments. As you can see, activating the cursor also displays the toolbar at the top of the screen. The toolbar is a quick access menu that allows you to control various aspects of the simulation. Try to find and open the controls panel.
Controls panel.
The controls panel is a useful reminder of the button layout for the devices you're currently using. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar.
Camera.
The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you will be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So, let's hide the yoke for now.
The yoke. Okay, so the yoke. The cursor, point the yoke, and hide. Okay. Do it. Visible.
Alright, as we've
Hidden,
seen,
okay.
when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. But you can also move it freely in a cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see. Even through a window to look outside.
Yep. Okay, so hold LB, move camera.
Now, reset the
Ah,
camera to its
okay.
original position.
Nice. Okay, I'll
Alright,
reset.
that covers all the main camera functions available in the simulation. Try to familiarize yourself with them a bit more, then reset the camera to its original position whenever you're done.
Yeah, we wanna kind of probably get right here.
Great.
Reset. First lesson done. As this is one of your first lessons, we'll start by getting familiar with the main aircraft controls and instruments. The yoke, steering wheel, rudder pedals, and throttle. And let's start. Ready to fly.
Let's get you familiar with the aircraft, a Cessna 172, and a few commands to navigate it through the skies. In front of you is the yoke.
The yoke, okay.
The yoke is like a steering wheel, more or less. Turn it left or right to control the ailerons and bank the aircraft into turns.
Ooh, that's very sensitive.
Look at the trailing edge of the wings while turning the yoke to see the effect on the ailerons. Okay. Now, the difference between the yoke and a steering wheel is you can pull or push on the yoke. This controls the elevator at the back of the aircraft to make it climb or descend. Look at the horizontal stabilizer while you pull on the yoke. You can see how it affects the elevator. Nice. Down at your feet are the rudder pedals. They steer the aircraft when you're on the ground. The upper part of the pedals also control your brakes. In the air, they control the rudder at the end of the vertical stabilizer to yaw the aircraft. This is mostly for small corrections. For coordinating turns or compensating for a plane's tendency to pull left during takeoffs and climbs. Look at the vertical tail while operating the pedals to see the effect on the rudder. Great. Last but not least, the throttle is located near the center of the cockpit. Pushing forward will increase power, pulling back will decrease power. First, look at the throttle and select it. Keep it selected and push it forward to increase power. Power is increased. Now pull it back to decrease power. Power is decreased. Now we'll do the same without focusing on it. Deselect the throttle. Look away from the throttle and increase power. Set your throttle to idle. Excellent. When the engine is on, you'll be able to see the power change on your RPM indicator. You will find it on your PFD screen in the top left corner. This tells you how fast the engine is spinning in hundreds of revolutions per minute. Next, take a look at your current speed on the airspeed indicator. It's on the left on your PFD screen. It measures the speed in knots. To check your altitude, look to the altimeter. It's on the right on your PFD screen. Not all aircraft have integrated screens with all this information. A lot of them rely on analog instruments. You can find the analog versions of the airspeed indicator and the altimeter just above the throttle. They are respectively on the left and right. The analog altimeter has 3 hands similar to a clock. The long, thick pointer indicates 100-foot intervals. The short, thick one is 1,000-foot intervals, and the long, thin one counts 10,000-foot intervals. That's all for today. Next time, we'll see how it feels in the air.
Right. Still lots of pitch, altitude, climb altitude, cruise, okay. It's going to be interesting.
To help demonstrate pitch, I've drawn 3 lines on the windshield. Notice how the middle line matches the horizon while we're flying level? This is the cruise attitude. The lower dotted line is the climb attitude, and the upper one is the descent attitude. Let's dig deeper into what that means. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude.
Okay.
You put your plane in a dangerous situation. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude.
Okay.
According to your altimeter, we're gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making a climb.
Very sensitive.
Excellent.
You done?
That's good. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Now, let's level back out. Our speed is increasing and our altitude is stable. That's okay.
Oh shit.
Push gently on the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude.
Yeah. The horizon is there.
As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing while our speed is picking up. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Okay, bring us back to level flight.
Place the cruise altitude line back onto the horizon.
Now your
That one?
speed is decreasing and your altitude is stable. That's good. That's okay. I think a bit more practice may be a good idea. Try to
No,
make only small adjustments to your pitch to avoid overcorrection.
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just constantly going down. Probably got a B or C there. Yeah, C. Well, not great. Pitch up and then level off. Pitch down to descend. Roll.
For this lesson, we're going to use a line drawn on the windshield to indicate the cruise attitude. I've also added another dotted line to help you bank properly for left turns. Gently move the yoke to the left until the dotted line matches up with the horizon. Then maintain that bank. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Watch your altitude. It wasn't constant during the turn. Now, let's see you level back out. That's okay. Remember to maintain altitude while leveling off.
Yeah.
For the next step, turning to the right, let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
I can't see jack shit in it. It's not clear.
Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator. Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop. Keep working on it, you'll get better. Keep working to maintain a constant altitude during the turn.
Shut up, you.
Level us back out now.
Okay.
Great. Additional practice will help, don't worry. Small corrections on the yoke will lead to more accurate turns.
Yo. All good yourself. It's Flight Simulator 2024. It only came out yesterday. I said I'd give it a shot. It's hard enough. There's a lot of stuff to do in it, so I don't know. I'm just trying to learn at the moment. So I give it a try. I always liked flight simulators. I found them hard as well. They're pretty hard, but yeah, it's on Game Pass, yeah. Ugh. The past two ones, trying to get it steady and all, is very sensitive with the controls. Yeah. Power settings, 2 minutes.
Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 172, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer on the PFD. Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800.
Where are we? Airspeed 96. Engine altitude. Engine. Engine, yes. Okay, so 800. It's very sensitive.
Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing.
Altitude, yes, okay. Airspeed.
Excellent. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2,400 RPM.
2,400. Okay.
Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well. Nice.
Good to know.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
With piston planes like this Cessna, it's common to have power targets defined in RPM.
Think I've done pretty well on that one. I'm getting it. The only thing is, I have all that, but it's not very visible on mine now.
In this lesson, let's take a look at the relationship between attitudes and power settings. Attitude plus power equals performance. We're currently at 5,500 feet in a cruise attitude. The aircraft's nose is positioned under the horizon, and cruise power is at 2,300 RPM.
Right.
Try to reduce power to 2,000 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet.
5,500 feet. Okay, well, I need to go up to 5,500 feet and go down.
Go ahead, lower your RPM to 2,000 while maintaining 5,500 feet.
That's what I'm doing.
That's good.
Yeah, okay.
You probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push, or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying. Add trim to stop pulling yoke. Yeah, I don't get what this trim is about. Oh shit.
You put your plane in a dangerous situation. You probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push, or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle.
No, it's not easy.
Keep working on it, you'll get better.
Okay.
You're
Maintain.
too high now.
What do you mean I'm too fucking high? Okay. Let's go down a bit. How about
You're
that?
too high now. Increase power to 2,300 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet. Get us back to a cruise attitude.
Okay. What she said? 300. There we go. 300.
That's good. Now, adjust the trim.
Adjust the trim. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Additional practice will help, don't worry.
Practice. Who needs practice?
The way I was taught, when you adjust the trim, you make course changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke. Then small adjustments to find the perfect setting to keep your desired attitude. If you feel your pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim. That's the key to straight and level flight.
Not all bites of dust. A C grid. Nearly a B. Maneuver test. So we have power, throttle, altitude, performance. I don't even know how many of these trainings, and I'm sure there's a few of them. There's a career in this as well, so.
The art of maneuvering a plane through the air isn't a mystery to you anymore. Now it's time to test the skills you've learned. As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet on a north heading of 360 degrees.
Okay.
Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading.
A northerly heading, okay. And we want to go down, maintain north, 5,000, okay. We'll slightly deep.
While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed.
Okay. We'll go down to 2,000. Slightly.
You put your plane in a dangerous situation.
What do you mean? I was descending.
Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading. While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed.
You can actually barely go down. You can't go straight down now. Nearly there. Yeah, should be
While
good.
descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed.
Yeah, our engine is okay.
Now, climb to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading.
South heading.
On the Cessna 172, you need full power to climb effectively.
Okay. I'm going to get up the altitude and just slightly turn.
You can start the climb when you're ready.
Oh, I'm climbing. I'm also turning. Nearly there. Altitude 6,000. Right. Now south heading. Slightly turn. And start turning back. We're going south.
Nice.
Just about.
All right, next exercise. Maintain your heading of 180 degrees, stay at 6,000 feet, and adjust your airspeed to 80 knots.
80 knots. Set speed to 80 knots by holding airspeed. Okay. So let's see. And
Go ahead and reduce your speed.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Give me it. Just trying to see, can we get down to 80 knots? I have a lot to go down to 80 knots, don't we? Might be going down a bit too fast. You being serious? I can't go down anymore, can I? 80. Stay on the south.
Stall.
Stall? What do you mean stall? I don't want to. I'm not stalling. Shit. I need to bring up the speed a bit. Yeah, we'll bring it back up because I need to get to 6,000.
That's okay. Review straight and level flight to better manage your speed and altitude.
Yeah.
You did well, but you can do better.
Thank you. Probably another C. Oh, B. I'll take it. I done it all. I done all the basic handling training. Will I remember them all? Probably not, but yeah. 75%. Yeah, it'll do. No, takeoff and landing, it's going to be the fun part. I suppose takeoff would be okay. It's the landing, I'd say, it'd be more harder. Every good flight starts on the ground. Preparing your aircraft and taking all the necessary precautions is essential for every pilot, regardless of the experience. Today would learn how to do just that and which tools. Okay. What to check pre-flight?
Hello. Today,
Hello.
we're going to go over all the steps that precede turning on your engine. Those steps are essential to ensure your aircraft's integrity and that everything is in order for a smooth and seamless flight. First of all, stretch your legs a bit and take a look at your aircraft and your surroundings. We never took much time to look at our aircraft from the outside, so take your time if you want to inspect it.
Okay. This is a new thing on this. You actually can get
You
out of
might
your
have
plane
noticed
and
some
all
extra
that.
bits on your aircraft. These are the covers and chocks. Covers are installed when the plane is not in use and are meant to avoid damaging its sensitive parts. Chocks are there to immobilize the aircraft. You'll need to remove them before takeoff.
Okay. Engine covers, remove. Remove static port cover. What am I looking for? I don't know. Noise gear, okay. All good. Examine right stress, okay. Let's try and be somewhat like a pilot. Check and see. We're good. What's this? Oil. Open. Examine. We're good. Okay. Close. What else do we need to inspect? We need to inspect static port cover. Okay. Pilot cover. Okay.
And we're done for the outside. Now that we're sure your aircraft is functional and ready to taxi, let's check the inside.
You sure? I haven't checked everything. Always have to check everything. Baggage. No, we check these inside as well, but yeah. I am indeed looking for work. That's what I'm trying to do now. Open the door.
Let's get to the matter at hand.
Is that about
You've
LB?
been given an EFB,
Oh.
also referred to as an electronic flight bag. It's a tablet that stores critical flight information and is the ideal tool to prepare your flight plans and enhance your piloting experience. Open it and take a look. Feel free to follow a quick guided tour of its features.
It's tough trying to get started. I've applied for a few, but no luck. Few got back to me, but they haven't got what I'm looking for. You know, they're not looking for trainees or juniors at the moment. But we'll get there. It takes time to find the right one, especially yeah. Well, one said get back to them in February. The other some get back, some don't. But it's all about trying to get in the door, you know. So open the FEFB. She was yabbering on, but I didn't really pay attention.
The EFB features an interactive map, a flight plan editor, aircraft and current flight information, a nav log, as well as fuel and payload options. The EFB has plenty to offer, but if you want to get directly into the action, you can turn it off after you finish the quick tour.
Atlas app Okay, well, that's handy to know because we do need to know the information when we're going to airport to airport. Aircraft app. What does this do? Here you can check your flight performances, use checklists, and have access to your aircraft documents. Pilot book. Ah, okay. So I want settings. I want the tablet to be, let's see, what's large like? Probably better large actually. Let's see. Oh, shit. Can I move it? Uh, yeah, I can. I can move it over here. So if we have it as a medium, maybe have it here. Should be good. So speed is in knots. Normally it would be in knots, yeah. Or I could change them to kilometers. But knots probably would be the one for air. Feet, nautical miles, kilometers, kg. Yeah, I'd be more familiar with kg. Gallons, liters, and Celsius. Okay, pilot book, aircraft, flight planner, and more apps. And we can get rid of that.
It seems like we're all clear on the checklist.
Are we?
Now start this pretty bird up.
Pretty bird, okay. Start. Start the engine either by completing by the checklist or quick start. Checklist? What checklist? Where's checklist? So RB and down.
Now that we've covered all the preparations, let's get to the good stuff, shall we?
Right. Hello, how's it going? So flight sim 24. Ooh, I got an A for that. Start engine. Trying to put down the basic stuff. RB and directional down button. What's this? Taxiing. Essential skill to master before flying with your aircraft. Before taking off planes, you need to follow the taxiway, okay? So we have a holding lines, we have taxiway center line, location, and runway holding. All information I'm not going to process in. Let's see how this goes without.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake.
Release brake. Okay, I'll put that down in my notes. So, parking, release parking brake.
Release the parking brake.
Okay, chill. Keep your knickers in. RB and X. RB and X.
Okay. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving.
Increase. Okay. I don't know how much you want it to be increased. Maybe a bit more. Ah, yes, here we go. The
Add
engine's
power
going.
to start taxiing.
Yeah, we have nearly 1,000 already. I don't want to go too fast. Okay.
Go easy on your throttle. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
Okay.
Increase throttle to gain forward momentum and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
Oh,
Now,
we're actually
test
doing
the
it.
brakes.
Test the brakes.
Good.
Brakes are
Brakes
working.
checked. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember
Yeah,
to
get up
control
with
your
it.
speed with throttle and brakes.
Throttle and brakes.
See the crossing in front of us. Stop before it, as if traffic was coming off the runway.
Could be a pilot yet.
Watch your speed.
I am. Chill, woman. Chill.
Watch your speed.
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
No shit.
Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes.
So basically I need
See
throttle
the
and
crossing in front of
brakes.
us. Stop before it, as if traffic was coming off the runway.
So I need to decrease my throttle and then...
Unfortunately, one of your wheels crossed out of the taxiway.
Jesus, give me a fucking break.
All right, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport, near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center, marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed.
Right. Why are we not moving? Do I have the brakes on? Right. We
Watch your speed.
are moving.
Watch your speed.
Yeah, I'm going down. I'm going down. Don't worry. I'm going to press the brake a bit.
Watch your speed.
Jesus, woman. Watch your speed. Watch your speed.
After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point, in prep for takeoff.
Wait, hey. Got a small bit, I suppose. Oh shit. Come on, keep moving. Why are we stopped? Jeez, you really have to put power in this to get it running. To get around 1500. To get going. I'm moving slightly. Would say 4, 3.5. Stop.
You've mastered that lesson.
Have I?
The next
Okay.
challenge will be to keep the aircraft under control while at full throttle for takeoff.
How did I do in a taxi? Oh, I'm surprised I got an A. Take off. This will be interesting. Should be easy enough to take off. It's actually, I got off the ground yet. Well, the first few was kind of, yeah, rolling and turning and all that and going up and down, but I haven't actually taken off or landed yet, so this is takeoff and then I'm gonna land. The landing part is going to be the toughest, I think. Taking off is always easy, it's actually fucking landing is probably the most hardest. Have you played this? I don't know, like it's only out, but it's on the Game Pass, but it only came out there yesterday. I said fuck it, I'll install it and try it out. I tried to play the 2020 version, but it was just too long to download, where this one, you actually make a pilot, well, piece of pilot that I kind of whatever preset or whatever, and you can actually walk around in this one compared to the other one you couldn't get out.
There's an old saying I like: a mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway.
No, I can't see
And
anything.
to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching.
Yeah, I can't see anything either.
Runway numbers are not arbitrary. Each number matches the first two number of the runway's compass bearing, rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. For example, a runway orientated towards the north would be numbered 36, which is 360 degrees on a compass. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position.
You know, that's
Now
too much
slowly
gibberish for me.
taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21.
21? Yeah, whatever you just said.
Let's position the plane for takeoff.
Try and go nice and easy. And brake.
Excellent. All right, let's do this. Apply full power, and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
Okay, increase throttle power. Up to max.
Use your rudder to stay on the center line, and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
55 knots, okay. Well, how do I know? 55. Oh yeah, airspeed, okay. Fucking hell. Okay,
Good.
we're coming up
Now, gently pull back on the yoke.
on the yoke, gently. Yes, let's go. And we're off.
And we're airborne.
Woohoo!
Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon.
Huh?
That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Maintain 75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time. Focus on flying straight. use your rudders to remove the left yaw plane as when climbing. You can see your current yaw input by looking at the MFD's slip skid indicator.
MFD? What the fuck is MFD? Maintain 75 knots.
Maintain 75 knots and climb to 5,000. Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. Good job.
Thank you. Now, the fun part. Landing. Landing yoke management. It's a big yoke. Call it fucking steering wheel.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle.
Okay.
Maintain a speed of around 65 knots.
Okay,
Pitch down if
65
you're going too
knots.
slow. Pitch up if you're too fast.
So 65 knots
Keep
for
your
landing.
airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
Can we decrease? We can decrease. So I need to maintain the around 65 knots. We're not coming in straight.
$500.
Huh? Jesus. This is a bad landing already.
Stall.
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
$500.
Align with runaway. I'm not aligned. Oh, no, I am. No,
Stall.
no.
We're coming up on
Stall.
flare height. Resist the temptation to
Stall.
pull back.
Stall.
Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Whoa.
Nice. Now, up.
Crashed again. I knew this was going to be the tricky part.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
$500. Stall.
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back.
I keep fucking up. I wanna get in the middle.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
Oh shit.
Stall.
Going too fast.
$500.
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
Wasn't too bad of a landing, I suppose.
Well done, but there's room for improvement. Keep in mind that approaching the...
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but at least it wasn't like the other ones crashing. I mean, I can only imagine the bigger ones. A B. Landing throttle management. Now we're landing with throttle management. Aim and point runway threshold. If too high, reduce throttle. Too low, add throttle. Okay. Oh yeah, you in this has like a big huge plane for passengers. So like I think in the career you can do free. You can go all around the world. You can go from Paris to fucking Egypt and all that in this. Like it's. But it's in real time kind of thing, so...
In the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it.
Yeah, I think so.
Remember,
Yeah.
though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land.
What? Elevator? Oh, what's that shit about? Oh shit. What am I doing? Align with runway. Jesus, I'm not even aligned, am I? This is bad. Let me just slow down, slow down.
500. Stall.
Reduce throttle to idle.
We're kind of coming in a bit too
Now,
fast.
focus on the end of the run.
Yeah, too fast. Yeah, I think I seen someone actually play the 2020 version, and it was like it took them 2 hours or something to fucking fly to Spain to fucking something. I think anyway. But I don't know how the career is. The career.
In
I
the
must
first
try
part
the
of this
career.
landing
It's new thing.
exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land.
Must the elevator. Well, we're in line with the runway, which is good. Oh shit. I just
500.
got out of it. I don't know. We're coming in.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Slightly pull back the
Nice.
raise, okay.
Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
Yeah, okay. By pressing and holding X. And full
You did
stop.
well, but you can do better.
I'll take the B. Now, what's this? Landing. We're still landing, so final approach. Layer and deceleration in flight. Ground deceleration. Runway threshold. Power reduction start. End point. Okay, so there's a lot in landing.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece.
And said it again.
Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
How do you flare then? So 65. It's gonna. Okay, we need to line up with the. Oh shit.
Stall. Stall.
Stall. Yeah, and maintain the 65. Get down. The engine speed. Try and slightly. It's not the smoothest. So we need to move over here a bit. I'd like to have a line that indicates me the kind of. Is that it? No. Be nice if it actually gave me a pointer, you know, so I can literally align myself, but. We're going too fast. We need to drop altitude. We're going way too fast. Apparently we're aligned. We're not anymore. Trying to drop.
Stall.
This isn't looking good. Oh shit.
Stall. Stall.
Reduce throttle to idle.
Stall.
Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
Yeah, we're not staying in the center line, but we're coming to a stop.
You did well, but you can do better.
The real test is when I actually have free flight and go take off and land, then that'll be the real test to see how I do.
Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
Oh, lovely. Now they're going to really put the test in downwind.
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg, at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We are passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent.
Shit, 1700.
The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed.
One flap, okay.
We'll turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us.
Don't know what that means, but
Turn left onto the base leg.
Stall.
Try to keep our speed around 75 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
where the fuck is the runway?
Turn left onto final.
Ah, okay.
Make your left turn onto final. Make your left turn onto final.
Okay, chill, woman, chill. Runway, okay, no. This is the fun begins.
Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing.
Yeah.
Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
I actually can't see if I'm actually
500.
directly going to land or not. This will be very interesting because I can't see the fucking
Stall.
runway.
Stall.
Ooh, shit.
You need to stay in the pattern for the sake of this exercise. Keep a stabilized approach with
Ah, there it
65
is.
knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use
Nah.
throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
I wasn't even aligned to it. I was going the other way, so I wasn't even gonna fucking land on it properly.
500.
Oof.
Stall.
Give me some fuel. Straighten up a bit. Oof.
Stall. Stall.
Apply the brakes and stop the plane.
Not too bad, I suppose. Oh shit, I pressed the brakes a bit too much.
Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't
500.
sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink,
The
don't
fuck?
sink,
Don't sink. I'm not gonna sink.
don't sink, 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 don't
Okay,
sink,
the game
don't sink,
is...
don't sink, 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 don't sink.
Whatever that means, don't sink, or... I'm trying to use the runway as much as possible. We are
Apply the
on.
brakes and stop the plane.
And we are applying the brakes. Slowing down. And we have landed.
You followed the traffic pattern well. Good job.
I don't know what fucking pattern I was fucking going on. I need something to just guide me. To be on the right path. For solo for light. Lovely. Shall be interesting. Then I have to take off.
It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground, in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember everything we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Good luck. See you on the other side.
So what I know is 55. Your speed of 55, and then we should be able to take off. Slowly, and we have taken off. Reach 5,300. 75. Not going to reach 75 in my head at all. Reach the 5,300 feet anyway. Right there. Now we need to turn around. Kind of slow down a bit. And straighten up a bit. And try and maintain that cross. Okay, turn left. Okay. Doing pretty well so far. Maintain the 75, and we want to reach 5,000, 7,000 now. Oh, wait, 5,700 now. Okay.
Stall. Stall.
No, we don't want to stall.
Stall.
Put a bit of fuel. Reach 6,000. And let's just gradually go up. And get into this pathway. And gradually go up. It's very sensitive, this unlock stick. Altitude, getting up there. Get up to 6,000. Okay. Maintain 80 knots and maintain 6,000 feet. Maintain 80 knots. We gotta go up. Need to turn left. Straighten up. We reached that, so now we turn left. And we go to the runway. This isn't really that straight to the runway, is it? 65.
$500.
Just maybe decrease it. We're making an approach to the landway. Not bad, not bad. And we're down.
Stall.
No stall. I just need to brake. Keep her. Okay. And we brake.
You did well, but you can do better.
Yeah, we can
You're on
always
your
do
way
better.
to becoming
Listen,
one
huh?
hell of a pilot.
Well, got B, it's not bad. For takeoff and landing. Now we have VFR navigation, so learn about visual flight rules and how to use the outside world to navigate. Right, over the runway, okay. Departure training.
Today we are going to leave our familiar airport of Sedona and venture south to reach Flagstaff Airport. To guide us, we will rely on the navlog. It references the different legs to complete to reach our final destination. Our first goal is to fly over the runway center at 6,500 feet with a heading of 42 degrees. By doing so, we will be perfectly set up to engage with the first leg of the navlog. After takeoff, we will continue crosswind as if we were following the standard traffic pattern. However, we won't turn downwind. Instead, we will continue climbing to 6,500 feet before turning on course toward the runway center. Okay, you can take off whenever you are ready.
You know what, maybe this needs to be small. Mm. Right, okay, let's see. Um, don't like the way it's looking, huh? For if, heading track up, head up, let's see, head up, let's head up. Yeah, that's the way it should be. That'd be better. Okay. Shit. Oh shit, I should be raising up.
Not the smoothest takeoff, but it'll work.
Yeah, we'll
Your
have to
target
work.
altitude is 6,500 feet. That's 500 feet above the traffic pattern, as we don't want to interfere with incoming aircraft.
5,700 feet, okay.
Maintain 75 knots.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Don't sink.
Maintain 75 knots.
I'm trying to fucking reach the 5,700, huh? Keep your mind.
As you climb, turn left so you stay in the vicinity of the airport.
Alright, reach an altitude of 6,500.
Stall.
Maintain 75 knots.
Stall.
Departure position?
Maintain 75 knots. Great. To ensure accurate navigation, you want an accurate starting point. And what's more accurate than the runway you just departed from? Go ahead and position your plane above the airport.
A 40 to position aircraft above. Okay, 42 heading.
Maintain 6,500 feet. Maintain 6,500 feet.
Okay.
Stall.
Nice. That's it for navigation departure. Well done.
Yeah. Right. See what this is about.
We're currently at 6,500 feet, about 30 seconds flight time to Sedona Airport. As we
Okay.
make our way toward the runway center, let's talk more about navigation. When you need to set and maintain a heading, you'll want to rely on your heading indicator. Compasses are prone to errors, especially during turns, or while accelerating or decelerating. Okay, we're in position over the runway center. Next step is to validate the time. That's a fancy way of saying, start your stopwatch. On the navlog, you can see our next waypoint, Munns Park, is at a 42-degree heading, about 5 minutes away. That means we need to be on a 42-degree heading. Check your heading indicator and make your turn. Good.
42.
Maintain a 42-degree heading.
42 heading, and we need to maintain.
As you approach Munns Park, the terrain level rises. To maintain a safe altitude, we'd better climb to 8,000 feet. Make sure you keep the same heading. Maintain full power during your climb.
8,000 feet. About 42 here now. Try and stay in the 42. I need a.
Navigation is basically flying a given heading for a given amount of time. Sometimes you deviate. But if you track the time flown from your last known position, you'll always have at least a range for your current position.
Keep going. So we got to 8,000 altitude, and
Okay, now get back to cruise attitude. Let the speed increase, then set cruise power at 2,300 RPM.
6 RPM. 2,300.
Do you see the green patch with a lake on its right? This is Munns Park Golf Club. We're almost there. Let's proceed over it and check if the stopwatch matches the navlog estimation. We all know speed can increase or decrease depending on the wind. That's why at your next waypoint you'll want to compare your estimated time and route with the actual time flown. Validate your estimate and your progress.
Navigation mode, where's that? Navigation mode, let's see, on.
Well done. But there's room for improvement. Navigation to Munz Park is in the books.
Ugh.
All right, we're currently at 8,000 feet, approximately 30 seconds out from Munns Park Golf Club. While we fly over it, let's talk about landmark navigation. One of the easier methods of navigation involves following identifiable landmarks, like highways. And it just so happens we have one below us. Do you see the highway on your left? That highway leads all the way to Flagstaff. Let's follow it,
Okay.
and we should reach Flagstaff Airport in 6 to 7 minutes. To make sure we don't miss it, reset your stopwatch here and start again. Flagstaff Airport's altitude is around 7,000 feet. Unlike in Sedona, the traffic pattern altitude there is standard. This means its altitude is 1,000 feet above the airport, which works out to 8,000 feet. We need to fly over the airport before entering the traffic pattern. Since we don't want to interfere with other aircraft already in the traffic pattern, let's fly at least 500 feet above pattern altitude. So, let's climb to 8,500 feet on the way. Keep it at full power while you're climbing. Perfect. Maintain 8,500 feet until we reach the airport. Set RPM at 2,300. Correct your heading to the left.
$47 heading, okay. Estimate minute per second, 4 minutes, yeah, we're not getting that. Let's see now, where is this, we can get 2,300 cruise. I can see the runway, I think. No, I can't. I thought I could see it. Let's see, 347 degrees, okay. Need to drop down. $5,000. Yes, the estimated time, okay, but yeah, my time is a
There
bit
it is,
longer.
Flagstaff Airport, on the right side of the highway. Excellent landmark navigation.
Right, okay. Did it? Arrival.
Flagstaff Airport is right in front of us, and we're currently at 8,500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's 500 feet above the standard traffic pattern. It's a good altitude to avoid interfering with aircraft already in the pattern. Proceed above the terrain, making sure you maintain our current altitude.
Tree.
We're going to land on runway 21, coming from the right to the left. We'll be following a left-hand traffic pattern, as we did in Sedona. Ready? Reduce speed to 80 knots and start a turn to the left toward a 120-degree heading.
120-degree heading. $120-degree heading. $120 degrees heading.
As we pass over the runway again, start descending to 8,000 feet, still maintaining 80 knots. You'll enter the pattern in the middle of the downwind leg for runway 21.
20. Feet and knots.
We've got clearance to enter the downwind leg and land on runway 21. Keep your attitude, then follow the standard pattern.
Okay. Looks like it's taking control of itself. Just doing its own thing.
Extend 10 degrees of flaps.
10 degrees of flaps.
Complete the traffic pattern until landing, as you learned previously.
Okay, navigation on the thing isn't that great, is it? So, doing this a bit. 8,000. Maintain. End of 21. Final turn. Turn left into base. Turn left for final. Set speed at 65. Reach final turn. Where are we going? Okay.
$500.
$65. Maintain. Slowly does it. Going down, and we're touch point. brake to stop the aircraft.
Good integration, but something tells me you can do even better.
See what the training menu has. So one more for solo navigation. Okay. So after that, then I have IFR navigation, helicopters, gliding course, maneuvers, introduction to airliners, step into the pilot seat of a Boeing 737 Max. It's actually quite a bit. I'll leave it at that. Continue more on next stream or something like that, or whatever I decide to do. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming in, and watching a bit anyway, and coming on by and all that jazz. Had a bit of fun. A few bit of crashes, but yeah, we kind of got a small bit of a hang of it, but there's still a lot there to do. Do the IFR helicopters, might even bother with it, I don't know. Might start a career or something. Might have to do the introduction to airlines so I can max takeoff, learn how to lift off an airliner, and max landing. I'll need to learn them anyway if I'm going to do a proper takeoff, and all that can still be more complicated. All these seem to be roughly the same, but just water takeoffs and all that. But speeder jet, don't think I'll be doing them. Then you have all these low altitude challenges and all that. Discovery. Oh, nice. So you can just go and discover all these places. Ooh, Dublin. What other places are here? And not much there. Well, they should be all over the world. These are all the sites that you can go and visit. Worldwide. Europe. I still have it installed, but yeah, because I was just constantly on Black Ops 6. So I just said I install this and try this out, but I'll try and get back to it. I'll probably have to refresh myself again on it and try and build something. I got that boat, the boat that I ended up doing, it still kind of has water in it, but it runs. But yeah, like it runs, but it's not ideal. So I'll have to try and refresh myself, and hopefully that I'll be able to get back into that and make a proper boat, and make it without it sinking and level it out and all that. There's a lot in that. But I still have it there. I just haven't played it in a long while. It's an interesting game, but yeah, I always like the flying simulating games. Even whenever I was young, I used to like the old ones. But then these ones they're tough. They are tough. But I just like flying around. To be honest, it'd probably be better off if I actually had the actual proper controls. But they're pricey, and there's no point really because I wouldn't be big in it. But it would be probably good if you had the whole shebang, the whole cockpit, and you could have it and do the controls and raise up and down and stuff like that. Will be cool, but yeah. You can do free flies or a career. Yeah, we'll try that out the next time, I think. Oh. Let's see. Get this, this. Yeah. Was it 2 hours 20 minutes about? Yeah, that's reasonable enough. Just sort out food and leave. Yeah, I'm going on cod for the night then. Well, till 9 anyway, because I'm asleep is on. So yeah, leave it there. Thanks again. Peace. See you in the next one.